Hey everybody, we have quite the exciting week to talk about. We have a wedding, but more importantly, we have a special guest on the show. Stay tuned. Do you want to know who it is? Then stay tuned for Restless Wrap.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, I'm Rachel Goodman, and in studio today, special guest, Hubby Joe.
That's me. Hi, everyone.
He's here, he exists, and we're all excited about it. And we've got Ryan in the booth, so excited that Hubby Joe is here that he's going to be on the show today, too. That was literally his reaction when Hubby Joe came in today. And I'm going to tell the story because it's hilarious. Ryan came up, said, "Hey, how about a cup of Joe?" So kudos to Ryan for his hilarious puns and for keeping the show that exciting and amazing. All right, and we have Farah here with us too.
Oh, you guys, who cares about me? I'm sitting next to a celebrity.
Oh man, and this was a great week for you to be on the show, a great week to be here, a great week to have Ryan. We are going to talk about a wedding and a lot of Adam drama. Woo! And we've got a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
This is so exciting, y'all. I just want to chime in real quick.
Yes,
So
please.
for as long as I've been producing this show, we have seen this man in the comments section, and to have him in studio, it's like a celebrity's here.
Seriously.
I just wanted to ask Hubby Joe, do you tune into every single show Rachel's on?
Of course I do.
Yes.
Wow,
he's
that
like
is a
my
man right there.
cheerleader.
Wow.
Of course I do.
The most supportive husband.
Yes.
How could you not?
Oh, that is so sweet.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get the awe sound. And you're as big a fan of Young and the Restless as she is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This will be a good show.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
you said that your parents watched growing up, or your mom.
My mom used to watch it growing up, along with Days of Our Lives, General Hospital.
Yeah. So huge soap fan here.
Well, one TV in the house, you were forced to watch it.
So cute.
Okay, so not to throw you on the spot, but favorite Y&R moment before we started watching, like back in the day.
Oh,
And
wow.
you can think about it if you want. I just completely threw you on the spot.
Yeah, that's a big time throwing
Okay.
on the spot.
Maybe one that's really memorable.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Or like favorite Victor moment, if that clarifies it. Or favorite, like, anti-Victor moment.
Anti-Victor moment.
Yeah. And if you can't think of any.
Yeah, I can't think of
Okay,
it. Come on.
just think about it, and we'll get into this week. First, I want to give everybody who's in the chat a shout out because I'm cool and combine words. We have Hubby Joe in the chat, so give him a shout out.
Everyone's been giving me a shout out.
Candace Mack, Jerry Jacks. We have Todd Beaton. And Drew M. Hi, Drew. Doolaman.
Candace Mack, OMG, this is amazing, Hubby Joe.
Yeah, so and we have a lot of shout outs to Hubby Joe, so thank you guys for being so supportive. Let's dive in.
It was in the prenup that I had to watch all your podcasts.
Yeah, completely, exactly. I knew what I was doing.
Evil laugh.
Pro tip. And they were talking about how to make a marriage work on Y&R this week. So that's a really excellent place for us to segue into the wedding of Lola and Kyle. Before we get to the wedding, I'm just going to say, Amy Caroluzzo, hello group, what a beautiful wedding. Perfect time for that comment. I'm just going to say that scene in particular, when we were with Kyle and when we were with Tracy and Ashley, really, the fact that they were being very motherly and giving him that advice.
Love that.
And I could feel their mistakes as well as their triumphs coming through in that conversation.
Yeah.
And it just really, spoke to me to see that happening. How did you guys feel about that moment?
It was a very touching scene there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was freaking out, and the aunts calmed him down.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was freaking out for the right reasons. It wasn't like a typical freak out where somebody might literally have cold feet and not know what they're doing. He was freaking out because he didn't know if he could be good enough for her. It was like the ultimate, like the best way if somebody's going to freak out like that. And then also, he made a lot of valid points. Like, it's not just, like, he specifically said that the Abbotts didn't have a good track record of marriages lasting, but in general, like, that, it's a very big step to take with a person.
I know, it really was a big step, and it really was nice to see Ashley and Tracy being so nurturing and loving towards him. And gosh, you know, Lola's so lucky to have those women speak so highly of her, and just to speak so highly of marriage in general, and give Kyle advice about how to treat a woman and how to be loving and affectionate. And I just feel like if only every woman was so lucky to have like in-laws that could really just give advice to their husbands. Oh, is she one of those lucky people?
Yes,
I'm very lucky.
You guys are like the perfect marriage. I mean, really, like, but yeah.
Her family loves me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in on the single girl in the middle. Awkward.
But yeah, just, you know, hearing that and just hearing both of them. And like you were saying too, Lola has some really amazing people in her life, and so does Kyle.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because obviously their lives are not perfect, and Lola doesn't have she doesn't have this perfect parent relationship.
Right.
And her dad, like that whole thing with, I think they said his name was Adrian, and him just showing up at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel about that? About the father, about his letter, and just everything about Lola's reaction and Kyle's reaction, and then the actual day of the wedding with that?
Well, the letter seemed endearing and genuine, whereas when he actually showed up, I feel like he was almost like mocking the brothers and the mom, and just it didn't seem like he was there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely not.
Yeah. How did you feel about the letter, and how did you feel about the letter itself? Let's start there.
Anyone could put words on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You're nervous that I'm not here for the right reasons.
What?
Sorry, that was from The Bachelor. That's something they say every episode. Shout out to The Bachelor.
I feel like we're talking about The Bachelor right now.
Hilarious.
But if he really wanted to be there, why is he hiding behind a curtain? Why didn't he make himself known when he first got there?
Yeah. See, that's exactly how I feel, is that, okay, it's fair enough if he's going to write her a letter, that's fine, but where was he the rest of her life?
Right.
And then two, it's Lola's decision. Like, it's like she said, and this was probably one of my favorite moments of the whole week. When she read the letter, like, obviously it touched her. She was emotional, and she went to Kyle, and I loved that she went to Kyle, and they had this really, like, sweet conversation about it, and how Kyle was like, you know what, I'm going to support you no matter what. But Lola made a really good point in that Adrian's not her family. He was never there for her.
Right.
And she had every right to not respond to the letter, and he had, in my opinion, he had no reason, he had no right to show up at the wedding when she didn't want him, and that we have boundaries with people. It doesn't matter if they're blood or if they're not blood. We choose our family, and if we don't, like, just because somebody is blood related to you doesn't give them a right to be at a wedding if you don't want them there, and if they haven't earned that right in life. There's no, like, I get where the dad's coming from, that he didn't want to miss his daughter's wedding, but then
he's missed her life.
Yeah, and I don't even want to call him her dad, because really, Ray feels like her father.
The sperm donor.
Yeah. Ray feels like, I was very happy, like, for that. I was happy that Lola had Ray and Celeste walk her down the aisle. That felt very fitting to me.
Yeah.
And it just, like, the fact that she has had all of this happen to her, and, like, she's just a very, a strong woman, and a strong, not just, I don't even want to say strong woman, she's a strong person for enduring everything that she's gone through, and then getting to the place where she is open to these people being in her life and recognizing who is actually her family.
Yeah. I think he's definitely selfish.
Yeah.
Right? He missed her whole life and the important moments of her life, and he thinks that he can just pop up out of the blue on her wedding day and be welcomed.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna happen. And, you know, Lola has every right to not want him there. And it's just unfortunate that she had to take time out of the most amazing moment of her life to, you know, have to deal with her father, who really wasn't there for her at all.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it was, like, just like Celeste said, it was really disrespectful that he would just show up and break the boundary of, her boundary was she didn't respond to the letter, presumably. I mean, she could have responded and said don't show up, but we didn't see that if she did. Presumably, though, she didn't respond at all.
Yeah.
And he had, in my opinion, him showing up and then trying to get in and trying to be a part of her life is breaking a boundary that he has no right breaking. And he's just not respecting her wishes and just, you know, just was not good at all. And then he made Celeste miss part of the wedding just because she had to deal with him. Not right.
Yeah. And it makes me question why Celeste would even want to get back with him, like all these years back and forth.
And they did mention in the letter, too, that they're
not together anymore.
Yeah. Were you going to say something?
Doolittle makes a good point. He's only around because the Abbotts are rich.
Oh, that is that's a really good point.
That's a very good point.
Ooh, yeah, because that would explain it all. We don't know that much about him other than the fact that he wasn't there in their lives. So it's just a really hard place for everybody to be to deal with this, and for him to show up at this moment. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. He needed to show up before the wedding.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sit down with Ray. Sit down with Lola. Not just come and hide behind a curtain at the wedding.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Like, he could have, if he really wanted to fix things, then he could have just, someone make a...
Malcolm.
What did you say?
He's after Mrs. Martinez's guacamole recipe.
Interesting. Todd Beaton, did Mum want Dad at the wedding? I think that's a question. I feel like she did originally want him, but Celeste is more respectful of Lola in that she wasn't going to say, oh, well, he has to be there. She wanted him there, but she didn't force it. And so I feel like Celeste would have been fine with it, but
if they were on good terms, then I feel like she would be more okay with it.
Yeah.
They clearly, you know, had a rough patch and they separated, so that just shows that she didn't want him there because of that. I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense too. So we had the actual wedding, and I thought something bad was going to happen that stopped it because we have this whole background going on with Theo and Summer, and now we know what happened in New York. And that's exactly what I thought they were getting at when they said, oh, she was a girl and she was only 17 and she almost died. That's exactly what I figured happened, and it sounds like it coincides with Kyle, exactly him coming back, because we didn't really know much about his trust fund, but we knew that he had kind of gone through a lot of it, and this explains what happened. Because we don't know, they said it really fast. I think they said about $100K he had to pay him. Yeah,
he paid off the Father of the Year with $100K.
Yeah. So concerned with his daughter that he was...
You got my daughter drunk. Here's $100K. Never mind.
Right? Cool. Mum's the word. Yeah. What do you guys feel about that whole situation? Were you expecting it to go in that direction?
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really expecting a blowout, and it just didn't happen, and I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Theo's just scum.
Yeah. He's scum for just, like, positioning it that way. I thought he was going to show up at the wedding before they actually got married. And we saw the previews. He is there at the ceremony, but he shows up after the fact, it looks like. I thought he was going to show up, like, as they were about to say, I do. I was getting really nervous. I was like, come on, just, like, any more on soaps, when there's a wedding, it makes me nervous. Because I'm like, okay, just, like, don't spend the time, with, like, you know, on your vows. Just say I do. Just kiss. Because if you don't, someone's going to stand up and say that you were cheating.
They didn't do the part, does anyone have anything bad to say? Yeah. If not, forever hold your peace. Yeah, that's when you expected everyone to come in.
I'm Theo, and I'm here to... Yeah, because it's kind of what he did at the Bachelorette party.
Yeah.
So I really thought he was going to show up and, like, air the business, or that maybe... I didn't think Summer was going to do it because she seemed like she was at peace with Kyle finally, but I thought that someone was going to show up and just try to ruin it and just really mess with it. But fortunately, we did get this really nice wedding and nothing was interrupted. I mean, the anxiety was real for me because I thought it was. So, but other than that, just the fact that it actually went through, and they were married, and nothing super crazy happened.
Can we just talk about the decorations and how beautiful the wedding actually was?
Nice.
They have so many weddings on soap operas. I don't think any of them have been this elaborate. Like the flowers, the lighting, the scenery. It was just gorgeous.
Yeah, because even I think the last 2 weddings we had Kyle and Summer, and that wasn't anything special. But then the wedding before that was Sharon and Nick.
Nick's was just in a church.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I feel like Nick and not Nick. I feel like Kyle and Summer had a pretty nice wedding.
Yeah,
but it was nothing like
compared to this.
Yeah. This was just really nice. It was like a very blue, like a soft blue.
Yeah,
and just everything, like the background, the way they had candles.
Yeah,
it was very nice.
Set department must have taken a lot of time to put that together.
And I feel like they used, I don't know if they were trying to say it was on top of the club, but I feel like they used the same set on top of the club.
I thought it was the park that they used. The Chancellor Park?
It could be. I really don't know because it looked so different.
It was
hard to tell. Yeah, but it looked really nice. I loved the wedding dress and just everything, even the bridesmaid dress that Abby was wearing. Yeah, and I especially loved too that so obviously a lot of weddings, everybody has an entire bridal party. I love that it was very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of spoke to the nature of their relationship,
right? Because
it was very ornately done but simple, and it wasn't too gaudy or they only had a best man and maid of honor, and that was it. They kept it very simple and very easy, and I even love the actual vows that they had were very sentimental yet deep at the same time.
Yeah, it was a beautiful wedding. I really felt like I was at a wedding. It didn't feel like I was watching a show. It felt like I was a part of the party and I was really involved in it.
Usually on soaps they make them crazy. That was a really nice wedding. I mean, I remember being at the last wedding I was at was a lot nicer, but it compared.
Yeah.
What was the last wedding you were at, Hubby Joe?
It's fine.
You'll have to show us pictures of your wedding.
Oh,
show
That's
it to
what
everyone.
we could have done.
We could have. Yeah. Well, next week we will make a segment, the wedding. And
the wedding.
Yeah. We need to show it to all of your fans.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Okay, so we have a lot. Let me just make sure that we don't have any or we do have comments. Let me read a couple of them. We have. Okay, let me scroll up a little bit here. We have Simone Francois. Kyle's secret bore me. I needed more drama. A baby. A marriage. A murder. But girl got drunk. Really?
Yeah. That story wasn't.
And then Doolaman says, right at Simone, I wanted something juicier. Like Kyle and Theo were once lovers. That's what a lot of people said.
That would have been exciting.
And honestly, I'm still thinking that might be why Theo was so upset. Because he keeps saying, I'm losing my friend, that's why I don't want this marriage to happen.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if really it's still deeper and that Theo is in love with Kyle and doesn't want him to get married.
Yeah, because I don't understand why he has such a vendetta against him. If anything, he should be so grateful. This guy paid off a father. You could have been in jail.
Yeah.
For giving alcohol to a minor.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they implied it was alcohol, but I felt like it was something more. It could have been drugs, too.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like they didn't... Did they specify? Because I think it might have been, maybe a mixture of
The
drugs
only thing Kyle
and
said is that when he was referring to the girl and he was in the back of the seat, he said she's going to have to get her stomach pumped.
Yeah, which
so
could be...
It was alcohol.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, and maybe they don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe they just found her and... Because they dropped her off at the ER, so it's not like they would be, have been told.
Right.
But still, even if it was just alcohol, that's, presumably they were close to the age they are now. We don't even know. I would assume she's over 18 at this point, and that this was a couple years ago. But we don't know for sure. We don't really know much of anything about her.
She has to be at least 21 now because she was drinking in the previews.
Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, so, and I mean, you figure it does make sense that it has been about 4 years since everything went down, because we needed time just to see Kyle and Lola together. It's been about a year-ish.
I'm sorry, I'm preoccupied because Hubby Joe is actually showing me wedding photos. So if you could send that to our producer so that he can share it with everyone, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll put the email on the screen. No need to say it out loud.
Okay, and then we have one more comment, and then we'll kind of move on here. Rainy J says, it was a nice wedding, but I was expecting drama. And I feel like we're going to get it next week.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make sure that they were definitely married first.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
I think that if they didn't get that wedding over and done with, that they would have gotten outrage from the audience because everyone wanted this wedding to happen. I mean, if you look at all the comments on like the YNR page on Instagram and all that, everyone's like, we can't wait for the wedding, we're so excited for the wedding. They've made such a big deal about this wedding that if they didn't make this wedding happen, the audience would not have been happy. So I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go ahead, and before we move on to our next topic, why don't we make an announcement to our fans?
Yes, so we just want to thank all of you guys for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. If you are watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. And if you're watching us on iTunes, please give us 5 stars. But wherever you are, keep the comments coming, especially since Hubby Joe is here. We want to hear it. We want to talk. We want to interact. And we just want to thank you. Thank you for helping us do what we love to do.
Awesome. So, just like Farah said, definitely let us know. We love that you guys are so supportive. I love seeing everybody in the chat every week. We all do. So, thank you so much for being a part of AfterBuzz TV. Okay, so we haven't talked about Adam yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
He was like next to everything with the wedding. I mean, the wedding was kind of like a nice place to start, but we had so much happening with Adam. Yeah. So with Adam, it kind of started off with him. We had a lot with him and Chelsea at first, and Connor. I was pretty pissed off when the first thing out of Adam's mouth was, let Connor live with me.
I don't get it.
That makes no sense.
Like, come on now. Yeah. So how did you guys feel about that?
I mean, I felt like they were making headway, or Adam was making a headway, with Connor and Chelsea. So why not, work and make more momentum instead of just scaring her off and saying, let Connor live with me?
Yeah,
That's kind of ridiculous.
I wanted them to be kind of a family unit again.
Yeah.
But I figured it had to go very gradually.
Yes, exactly, gradually.
For him, so Adam, I feel like, was doing great, and Chelsea was warming up to him, but then he pretty much like slammed he like set fire to whatever it was by saying, yep, I want him to come live with me, just let him, come on, like, really? And Adam, and I get that, like, I actually kind of wanted him to have that time with Connor too, until he started pissing me off with he's gonna come live with me, and then he started being controlling about it. And then I felt like, okay, now he's trying to actually take Connor away from Chelsea. What did you think about all this, Joe?
The whole thing is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's completely bizarre how he wants to take these kids away from being stable. Obviously, he's not stable.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
What did you think about his relationship with Connor? And how they were kind of bonding?
They were bonding. He needs to take it slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid wants to see his father, but right away, let him live with me or have him live with me and you could visit him?
Yeah.
She's the mother. She's been there all along.
Yeah.
He's the one that hasn't.
And it puts Chelsea in a really hard place because she's being really noble about this. I don't know if I'd be able to react like her under the same circumstances.
Yeah.
But like Nick even said, well, why not just tell Connor the truth about how Adam really is? But Chelsea's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to paint him as a monster. Like, not his father. Yeah. And I feel like that's a great way for her to be. And, like, she's being very, like, I know Chelsea has her issues, but at least with this, I kind of agree with how she's handling it.
Yeah, of course.
But she also did open up the door she knows how Adam can be. And she opened up the door for Adam to have this relationship with Connor. but she did it for Connor. So it's a hard situation, and I think what is the worst about all of this is that Adam, he does seem to have a way with both Christian and Connor to an extent, especially Connor. Not so much Christian, like in the sense that, you know, Christian is kind of scared of him.
Yeah.
But it's so messed up is that Adam's not doing things for the right reason. I love that Victor stepped up too, but we'll get to that in a second. But I don't like that Adam claims he cares about these kids, but he's doing things to be controlling and not out of love for them.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's no question that he's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Or a sociopath. And he's incredibly selfish and self-indulgent, because someone who isn't and understands boundaries knows that when you have a child, you have to put their best interest first. And he's just not doing that. And I wish somebody could just sit him down and just teach him.
Yeah.
This is not how you parent. And I actually think Devon tried to do that, but it didn't get through to him.
I loved that scene with Devon. I wish it had gotten through to Adam. It should have, because Devon made it very clear, hey, like, I had two fathers, basically. One was my biological, and one was another man. But it didn't hurt me. It actually made it even, like, I love, like, he said that it didn't, like, having double the love made him stronger. And I think that was what he was trying to say, is that why don't you just allow Nick to be his father too, you know, the man that he knows, and that both of them could be Christian's father. But it didn't, instead of that, like, all it did was it like triggered something in Adam that made him realize that Victor had been the one to call and, like, set up the restraining order. And I loved that scene with Victor where he said to Adam, I'm not, like, because Adam was like, whose side are you on? Are you on Nick's side now? And Victor said, I am on Christian's side. Like, he suddenly realized after all this time, and, like, after things that Victor did too, he suddenly realized, no, I need to put that child first, and putting him first means doing things a certain way.
I feel like it's too little too late. Like,
with Victor?
How did you not realize back then that bringing Adam back would result in this havoc?
Yeah.
How do you not, like, I don't get it.
Well, unless he tried bringing him back, trying to get the family together, because he knew in advance that he was sick, and they just didn't let everyone else know.
I think he did.
So he was trying to get the family back together, and then he was going to spring that he was sick.
Yeah, I think he did know. I think with Christian, I think part of Victor's, like, epiphany is because he was sick. And that's why he now recognizes that Nick should have Christian, or not even that Nick should have Christian, but that he can't just do certain things that mess with a child's head.
Yeah. I mean, still, though, it's like, you know, why did it take you 2-3 weeks to finally step up and be like, now I'm going to put Christian first? Like, how about before they even went into court to fight for custody? Yeah. How about that, Victor?
Well, I think we're seeing a whole different Victor with him being sick. I mean, he's, like, talking to Jack and joking with Jack. It's just a whole different side that you're seeing now.
Yeah.
I mean, and just like Devon, family matters to Victor.
But for anyone who's ever watched Family Matters.
Oh my God, that's what you're talking about! I totally got it!
The actor who plays, the actor who plays Devon used to be on Family Matters. For anyone who did not watch.
I've been trying to get that in for 10 minutes.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Now, if only we had a Family Matters song clip. Yeah, but no, I'm actually really liking this version of Victor a lot better, and I feel like we're getting two things here. We're getting, I'm seeing some Googling happening. We're getting, like, conflicting, we're seeing on the one hand that Victor, like, okay, and on the one hand, we're seeing that he might not be getting better, that he had fainting and, like, dizzy spells, but on the other, he's telling people, hey, I'm getting better. So this is kind of more predictions territory, so we can save it. But I just feel like regardless of whether he's okay or not okay, even if he is okay, we're gonna see a Victor who's actually a good guy. But we have Adam now, and that's the whole thing, is that Adam will now be the eternal antagonist.
The new Victor.
Yeah, exactly. And that they're kind of setting the stage because maybe at this point they feel like Victor's getting a little too old to continually play the antagonist. How do you guys feel about that?
Oh, I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
That Adam will be the new Victor. Maybe Victor would take a little step back and not be as aggressive.
Yeah.
But be more with the family.
Yeah.
I wonder how, not Nick, the character, the actor, what's his name?
Joshua Morrow.
I wonder how he feels about that, though. Because he's been on Young and the Restless for all these years, and you'd think he'd be, like, up next to kind of play the Victor role, you know what I mean?
But my thing with Nick is that, and we saw him a lot this week too, especially with Adam. My thing with Nick is that he's never, like, as long as I've been watching, he just doesn't, he seems like he can kind of do things like Victor, like a little bit, but I never see him as being the bad guy. He's done a couple of, like, he's done shady things.
He's done really shady things.
Yeah.
The JT mask.
Yeah, he's done shady things, but, like, I just don't see him actually ever being a bad person the way that I can see Adam, like, doing things that are, like, oh, okay, so, like, basically, Adam's a sociopath, and Nick, like, as bad as he could ever get, I just don't feel like he'd have that same thing because he can empathize with people too much, and he's always, like, even in his worst moments, and even...
He's throttled it back.
Yeah, exactly. Even in his worst moments, he still doesn't do things to his kids, or, like, you know, he still puts them first.
Yeah, I get it. But you know the love that we all have for Victor Newman? Like, I don't know if anyone will ever have that for Adam.
No.
So I don't know if he could really play that role, you know?
And I think the thing with Adam is that we've only seen the actor for, you know, so many months. And so it's hard for me to, like, see him as this iconic...
Yeah.
Like, you know, not that he would be iconic right now, but even in, you know, 20 years, well, maybe in 20 if it's still the same actor, but just, it's hard for me to connect Adam and the actor, and just, I just can't see him the way I see Victor, even Nick, because Nick has been on for such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is Nick has this endearing, you know, thing to him, but...
Well, he is a dark horse.
We have a couple of comments.
Hey, you need to read that one comment from Rainy J.
Let me find it.
At 5:32.
Oh, that's Hubby Joe. So cute. Is that the one?
That's the one.
We also have...
Thank you.
Todd Beaton. Adam has the right corner, and Christian, they need an actor like Adam when on holidays all run left. I don't know if I understand what he means there. Let me skip down. Todd Beaton also says, Victor can only have one favorite kid at a time. Nick is his favorite at the moment. It will change. Victor wants Adam to run Newman. Yeah, I could see that, because originally he kind of did. And then Jerry Jacks, kind of to go off of what we were saying, Jerry Jacks says, Nick almost starts to cry when he has to play being mean. And Jerry Jacks also said, Nick is a hobby horse. Cool. So, basically, the only other thing to really mention is kind of everything going on with Victoria and Billy. We didn't see that much, but we kind of saw them in the beginning when they were helping, you know, basically having Christian get sick.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I thought you were actually crying.
But with them, I just want to kind of briefly mention the Billy thing, that we got into his head for a second, and we kind of felt like The Exorcist happening, and then it stopped.
He was hearing all these voices.
Oh, yeah. So now it's like, okay, do you guys think it's breakdown or it's real for him?
I think it's a combination. I mean, like, the dolls are there. They're showing up. They're popping up.
Yeah, well, other people see the dolls and the writing, so it's not like he's just saying
so
it.
He's not the only one. I think it's a combination. I think the dolls and the writing could be triggering.
Yeah.
You know? But
I want it to be real, because, like, I don't know, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know that they've done it real, like, where it's actually been a spirit or a ghost before, have they? Yeah. So I really just do it for real this time. Like, just have it instead of it being a breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, you've always seen people have like a dream and they see somebody that's passed on the show.
Yeah.
Or they think they saw something, but yeah, it'd be really cool to have that storyline.
And this is kind of like, speaking of ghosts and people showing up, just kind of like off topic too. But did you guys hear the rumor that Michelle Morgan, it's kind of rumored she might be coming back to Y&R?
It's not rumored. It's fact that she signed a contract.
Yeah.
That she's coming back. In what form? We don't know yet.
Hubby Joe, why don't you tell your theory about how you believe Hillary might come back?
My theory of how she's going to come back.
Yeah, about like being an undercover FBI agent.
Yeah. She's going to end up being at the TV host that she was. She's going to be working on some kind of big story that she had to go undercover, but you never saw her body when she passed.
Yeah.
And they've done it before on other soaps where they'll put something over the wrist to make it look like they don't have a pulse. They could have gave her something that lowered her heartbeat to make her look dead, and then she went undercover. She's going to come back and she's going to be this big reporter on like the world news or something, and that's how they'll write her back in.
I mean, it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
I bring people back from the dead all the time, so why not Michelle Morgan?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I just wanted to mention like Elena and Devon and like everything kind of going on with them and Nate.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're pushing
Nate and Elena.
I really feel like it, and that right now they're just friends, but that they're endgame. And that especially now, knowing this rumor, like I just feel like given the opportunity, Devon is going to choose Hillary. Like there's no question.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
1,000 million bajillion %.
Yeah, and so it's going to be this whole thing, and like also I feel like soaps never like to keep the calm couple together.
Yeah.
And Devon and Elena are just very.
They're just normal humans together.
Yeah. Especially because Elena's so like even keeled and like calm and just she's very like practical, and so I feel like no, we're gonna bring Hillary back.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I'm actually excited for that. I know a lot of people are excited to see Hillary, who really want her to be back.
She should never have been gone in the first place.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have killed her off. But I think she wanted to be a mom, right? She wanted to take time off to be a mother.
What I had heard was that there were contract issues around the same time that Eileen Davidson had contract issues, and they were kind of switching the writers, and like they had a lot of things going on, and so that's what I had heard is that they were having issues negotiating her contract because she wanted X amount of pay and she wasn't getting it, and she wasn't.
Well, now that Eileen Davidson is back, does that mean she got what she wanted?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know officially. If anyone in the chat knows officially, we would love to hear.
Yeah.
But that is as far as I'm aware of what happened, and like it was both of them where it was contract issues. So.
Because I know Michelle Stafford, one of the reasons that she left Y&R to begin with too was because they wouldn't meet her requirements.
That makes sense. Yeah. So. And it's new writers now.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely had issues with the writers.
Yeah.
I mean, the previous writer tried to write Victor out of it.
No!
And he tried to push him out of it.
Wait.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. So
now with the new writers, they know you can't get rid of
You
Victor.
can't get rid of Victor, honey.
No,
I'm
never,
sorry.
never.
You can't.
He's here to stay.
Yeah, he holds everything together.
Yeah.
I will go outside of CBS with a sign if they ever try to get rid of Victor.
Long live Eric Braeden.
Literally.
Yeah. Aaron Brody says, I loved Adam throwing the history up in Victor's face. Victor leaving Adam to be raised by Hope and Cliff. Adam has always resented Victor for doing that. And that's true. And and Todd says Eileen Davidson is not staying on the show, apparently.
She's not?
So, and yes, I think it's just, I mean, we really haven't seen her, like, full-time anyway, but I even if we get her for only, like, part-time, I'm happy with that.
I love her.
Yeah, me too. Let's go ahead, now that we're getting toward the end of the show, let's get to our lol moments. All right,
so
go ahead,
mine,
Farah.
you guys, you don't understand. I was laughing so hard when I saw this you guys, I literally took my phone, recorded it, and I sent it to Rachel right away because I was like, I cannot wait for the lol moment on Sunday. Like, let's laugh about this now.
Yes.
So I sent it over to the producers, so we're gonna show it to you guys right now exactly what my lol moment was.
You got it down very nice. You are looking at Memorial's newest resident.
Oh, baby. Congratulations. Yes. You have to celebrate now. Where do you want to go? You want to go to the society, the club, the top of town?
I don't know.
You know?
The only 3 places we could go to.
I wish that we had also sent in our chat log because she sent this to me and my response was all the choices.
There's so many choices.
Yes.
No, what's so funny is there isn't any choice other than society at this point.
Where do you want to go?
We don't even see the club anymore.
Crimson Lights? Yes, let's
Now,
go.
where do you want to go? You want to go to the society, the club, the top of town? I don't know. You know?
The only 3 places that are in town.
I can't decide.
Let's go to the park.
So good.
While we're at it, yeah. For some variety, they could just go to one of the few like churches. I don't know.
Let's go to the Starbucks down the street.
Oh wait,
Doesn't exist.
Hubby Joe, what was your law moment?
When Theo came in and sat down at the meeting with Phyllis, the way he was stirring a pot between the 2 of them and sitting there eating his breakfast.
Yeah, it was very proper.
Like all proper.
Yeah.
You were just waiting for like the pinky to come out.
Yeah.
That and when Billy's saying, who needs weddings?
Oh man, that was funny, all of it. My law moment was this is near the beginning. The low-key piano music banging as soon as Victor got dizzy. It was like dun dun dun, and then Victor started like clutching himself and like. I was like, okay, no, like the acting was fine. Nothing against Eric Braeden, but the music, it was like dun dun dun, and I was like, oh my god.
We get it.
It's the big one. I'm coming.
God forbid.
He's dying. Like, what is this? So yes, that was my law moment. Let's get to our predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Farah, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. I think Sharon and Adam are gonna become an item.
Yeah,
for sure.
They might get married. The previews.
God. And then I think, it's great that Lola and Kyle got married. However, I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the previews kind of threw mine out. I was saying that Adam and Chelsea were going to get back together, the way they were talking on the sofa.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that that Adam proposes to Sharon, she says no, and then he goes and gets with Chelsea.
Could be a love triangle.
It could be.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And I still think there's going to be more drama between Summer, Phyllis, and Kyle and Lola.
Yeah. I think that Theo, it's going to come out that he was Kyle's lover, or at least, even if he wasn't his lover, that maybe they had something
That would be
deeper.
so juicy.
It would be, and it makes more sense.
Yes.
Why is he that pissed off that he's getting married, or that he did get married? That, to me, especially that Kyle was the one who bailed him out, so there's got to be something more to it. Either they were lovers, Theo was interested in Kyle, or something else is involved in the story. I feel like the same thing that they brought Zoe from the previews. We can see Zoe's going to be there. I feel like she's got more, I almost feel like she did, I don't want to say she did this on purpose, but just seeing the previews, it looked like she had done this on purpose. She just looked like the kind of person who would really cause drama. So I don't know yet. So there's that. And also
here's Jerry Jackson's prediction. Sharon and Chelsea get together and they dump Adam.
That would actually be a good plot point. Yeah, I actually want that to happen. And my last prediction, I'm just gonna say everything going on with Adrian, Lola's father. I feel like we're gonna get them to talk, but then Lola's gonna be like, "Yeah, I don't want you in my life. Goodbye."
Yeah,
and it's gonna end there.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hubby Joe, where can everybody find you?
You can find me anywhere you find Rachel.
Good answer.
Very good answer. You guys can find me on Instagram at Farah_Naz_B. And hopefully next week we'll have the photos.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get them up this time, producer man.
I didn't get them in the email.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought I emailed them.
Okay. Next week, the very first thing we're going to do is show photos of these two lovely human beings.
Yes, absolutely. And my name is Rachel Goodman. You can find me at Rach Goodman on Twitter or on my author account on Instagram at Rachel Radner Author. I also have a readers page on Facebook at Rachel Radner. I talk about all my book stuff going on. Or if you just want to talk about YNR, we've got a Facebook at Restless Wrap page. If you go there, like, follow, I always post the link to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a wonderful week. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.